Everybody's got an intro. I'm not doing that. So I wanted to talk about something real quick, and it's this. It's the Apple Watch SE 2. Now, I know there's probably a ton of people like me, I was like, what do you need a smartwatch for? And originally I thought the same thing. I think the story needs a bit of context. The way I use technology, my phone, my iPad, and my Mac, those are the three main pieces of tech that I use. The breakdown for that is kind of my phone is for fun. I use it for social media. I use it for talking smack with friends. I don't necessarily view it as a tool for work. It's not something that clicks into that workspace in my head. My Mac is on the completely other end of the spectrum. I view it almost strictly for work. Every time I sit down at a computer, I'm like, all right, business. And I think that's just from working from home for a few years. You kind of get into this routine, this idea that now is work time. That's it. That's all you do. And then comes my iPad. My iPad is the perfect computer for me. It is my main machine. It's what I do all my editing on. It's what I do all my creative stuff on. I love it. The interesting thing is, though, when I set a reminder and it goes to my phone, I find myself suddenly surfing Twitter. I find myself checking out, hey, what's new in photo gear? My mind instantly clicks over into that space. If I send it to my iPad, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I set my iPad down somewhere and I'm like, what was I doing? And it took me a few years to realize it's how I process information. I have this thing where I can hyper-focus on one activity really, really well for a very short period of time. I've done that my entire life. The cool thing about it is it allows me to jump from project to project and passion to passion without sort of losing steam. The bad thing is I don't ever really complete anything, and I kind of end up with this perfectionist syndrome where I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I end up throwing it away. Until I had the Apple Watch, I didn't really have an effective way of sending myself constant reminders to sort of harass myself into productivity. And it sounds very strange, but I think it's because the Apple Watch is just smart enough to allow me to use these other tools in my life more effectively and just dumb enough to not really get in my way. And I love that. That's amazing. So much so that even one of my best friends has noticed it. They're like, you're being very productive lately. I feel proud of it. I went from, having an idea and then maybe writing it down later that week and then maybe filming it a week or two later and then it going into editing limbo and it never seeing the light of day, to suddenly writing 3 or 4 things a day, filming at least every other day, and posting at least every other day. It's insane how it's affected me. And I hope it can have that sort of positive effect for you too. So just food for thought. Let me know what you think.